Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the webinar, 3 Steps to Overcome Emotional Eating. Welcome to everyone who's joining the room, and also welcome to everyone who's watching on recording. So yes, you might be, I'm just allowing some of the wonderful people to join. Hello, lovely ladies. Hi, Dominica. Hi, Sureka. Oh, yes, you are already in.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being
Who's here? Oh,
Oh, this is so amazing. You know what? We can wait for others to join, and then for everyone who will be watching on recording before I start the webinar, would you like to say, ladies, why you are here? This is a great question. Thank you for being here, first of all. And why are you here? Would you like to share? If you are, please.
shall I go first? Because I know we've got someone else on as well. I'm happy.
Please. Hi, Sarika. So yeah, why are you here? Welcome.
Thank you for having me here, Anna. I am here because recently I have been struggling with my weight I think for the first time. Apart from when I was pregnant and had the baby weight, which was normal then. However, now I'm just putting on weight and the scales are going up, and there must be some kind of imbalance in my system because I'm eating similar to before. Yes, I'm going out more, but something crazy is going on. And it's probably been building over the last year or so. I guess I just want to get to the root cause of why this is happening to me.
Yes. Oh, this is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being so honest and for sharing. And I am so happy to have you here because I know that you have already signed up to my program, and we are
I'm so
going
excited.
we are going to do incredible work because yes, for the 3 months of doing the program, we will be working on a lot of actual reasons in our subconscious mind when it comes to why it's not only why we eat when we don't want to eat, but why we do everything as the book says, but we don't get the results. And those
And
reasons are
possibly why I'm holding on to weight. Could that be a reason?
Yes, that will also, and even today, during today's webinar, I will be talking about some beliefs and some narratives which we might have adopted in our childhood or throughout our life, because it doesn't have to be childhood only. And then some of them might resonate. On the program, we'll be going into much more details, but it will be really fascinating journey to go into the more depths of yourself. So yes, I'm extremely pleased for you.
I'm going to get my notebook. In that
Please
case,
do. Please do. Lovely. Thanks ever so much. Thanks ever so much, Sarika. Dominica, would you like to share why you are here? Are you feeling? You are on mute. So if you are okay to share, then I will just add you to the spotlight.
I'm listening.
Oh, you're on mute, Dominica. Can you just unmute yourself? Oh, okay. This sometimes happens. Okay. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Can you unmute yourself, please? Because we can't hear you. Okay. Yeah, sometimes the systems are playing up. This is just a normal Zoom thing. All right, let's see. If you can't, then we will come back to you a little bit later, and then if you can share that with me. Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, and welcome to other ladies who have been joining in the meantime. So yes, so what I would love to start with, for everyone who might be here or watching the recording, you might be asking yourself question, is this for me? Is this webinar for me? Is everything what we are going to talk about for me? I do have to say that it is definitely for you if you feel fed up with feeling out of control with your eating or with your weight or with the relationship with your body. It is definitely for you if you feel like no matter what you do, you're never going to be able to get that control over food or be in charge of your life when it comes to food. It is for you if you feel like you've tried absolutely everything in the past and you are doing everything as it should be. You know what to do, but you don't know why you are not getting the results which you wanted. It's also for you if you can notice that your emotional eating or your weight or your relationship with food is really affecting different areas of your life. And when I say that, it's not only about the weight or it's about feeling uncomfortable, but it's most importantly about your relationships. It might be the case that you are a little bit afraid of dating because you don't feel very comfortable in your own skin, or you don't feel very worthy because of the fact of how you look. It might be affecting your career as well because you don't feel like you can apply for that another job, or you can just change whatever you want in your career because the weight is just stopping you. It might be the same case when it comes to social life. You don't like to go out because you don't like the way the clothes are fitting or not fitting you. So there might be a lot of different reasons. You might also struggle to be open. You might struggle to be open with and honest with others. It might be the case that no one knows about the fact that you binge eat or that you can't eat. Because when it comes to emotional eating, it's not always about the fact that you eat too much. It might be about the fact that you don't eat enough, and that's also emotional eating. And I would like to say hello to everyone who's joining in the meantime, and I will be saying this from time to time. Also, if you are the person who is ready to finally make a decision to make a big change in your life, to get that long-lasting results, and if you are prepared to just be open and just be vulnerable with yourself and just go to the areas which maybe you have not gone to before, but the reality is that now you know that it's time to change something. So this is definitely something for you. So what about me then? Because I ask you, what about you, and what might be the reason? And there are just some of the reasons. When I will be telling you my story, and when you will be listening to stories of others, you will also see that it might be yourself. So my name is Anna Strożek, and I'm a psychonutritionist and a founder of the program Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind. But my story, where it really started, the reality is that for over 25 years, I struggled with binge eating disorder and non-purging bulimia. And this is the person on the left-hand side is me. That was back at uni, but that was basically where I was between the age of 18, 19 to, or probably 17 up to the age of 30 something, my early 30s. I was literally gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. And I was blaming myself so much because I was always trying all those incredible diets which were promising incredible results. And I could never actually get where I wanted for a long term. I could lose weight for a few months, few weeks, but then I was just absolutely not even amazed, but I was just shocked by how quick I can gain the weight back. And I could do, when I say it, I could lose 10 or 15 kilograms, which would be around, let's say, around 2 stones within, and it would take me 2 months of really, really hard work, or 3 months of really, really hard work. And then within 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I would just put it back. It was literally the yo-yoing. My middle name was Yo-Yo, to be honest. And the biggest secret in all of that was that I never told anyone that I'm struggling with eating. It was only just in my 30s, around mid-30s, when I finally had the courage to say, okay, I'm struggling with this, I need help. Prior to that, That was my biggest secret. It really was. No one knew about it, including my colleagues in the office. They always saw me as the one who eats healthy, never eats any chocolate or never eats any cookies. Or you know what happens in the offices. In the offices, you just get to those moments when there is a birthday or there is someone is leaving or someone is joining, or sometimes only because it's Tuesday or it's Friday, there are just free cakes in the office. And I was never touching those cakes, which were the official ones. But when no one was in the office, that was my time to actually binge on that. Or I always had something in my cupboard. I always had something in my car. And that was the biggest problem, because I was trying so hard to keep that persona of me, that perfect persona, who is always smiley and always laughing and always helping everyone. I was trying so hard that at the end of the day, when I was coming back home, I just couldn't keep that pressure anymore. And the only thing which could help me was food. And that was the reason why I was just binge eating. Then next morning, I was feeling absolutely terrible, with a lot of shame and a lot of guilt. And I was just promising to myself, okay, today is the last day. Today is the day when I'm just not going to eat anything, because I'm detoxing, resetting, whatever I wanted to do. And of course, I could keep it for a few hours, normally up to the evening, or sometimes up to around lunchtime, depending on what was happening at work, what was happening in life. Because I never realized that there was connection between what happens in my life, or how stressed I am, and how my body looks like. And I was always thinking, no, I'm just yo-yoing, I'm just putting the weight on and the weight off. But the reality was that there was always a reason for that. And I didn't realize that until when I was 34, which was over 4 years ago, when I decided, okay, that's it, I need to do something. And I met my psychonutritionist. And when we started working, within the first 2 weeks, I realized, oh my goodness, I never knew anything about losing weight, because losing weight is definitely not about food. It's about everything else apart from food. And I started a really interesting journey. And yes, not long after that, I started studying psychonutrition. And for the last 2 years, I worked with hundreds of men and women, helping them to make those changes, those long-lasting changes, and just getting the results they really, really want. Because what I'm doing is not about fast results. Some clients, you will see when I will be telling you about different scenarios as well. Some clients can lose within 3 months, they can lose 2 stones. Or I've got one client who within 3 months lost almost 20 kilograms. 2 stones is around 13 kilograms. And it's incredible, because it depends when you come, but it's not about the weight always. And I have one of my amazing clients who will be sharing later on about her journey. And it's not only that we need to be overweight to have emotional eating. We might be really fit, we might be really skinny, but we can still binge eat, and we can still have troubles with eating. So I'm really happy about breaking that stigma that's, only people who are overweight or obese are struggling with that. So when it comes to myself during my life, I definitely tried everything. I definitely got to the point where I really, really didn't like myself, not to use the hate or the words of hate. But I realized that, okay, if I don't change something, nothing will ever change, because I got stuck in that cycle for a really, really long time. And when I talk about emotional eating, I know that there are lots of different definitions of emotional eating, and I would just like to tell you what emotional eating actually is. Because people say, yeah, okay, I eat my emotions, but what it really means and what are the symptoms of that? So emotional eating is actually feeling that we are not in control when we eat, and we eat when we feel stressed, we eat when we are upset, we might feel lonely, or we might feel bored, or we might feel tired. But our go-to is definitely food. We use food to push down the emotions which we really don't want to feel. When we emotionally eat, we normally crave sugary foods or fatty foods or junk food, something what can give us really, really quick pleasure. And it might be the case that we might say, oh, we don't emotionally eat. But then we just realize that, okay, something is not 100% right. Also, when it comes to the definition of emotional eating, this is finding comfort with food, whatever comfort might need for you. It might be the feeling of safety, it might be pleasure, it might be that feeling of, I don't feel anything and it's so good, because it's literally for a moment, it's like, I don't have to feel anything. It's definitely emotional eating. And also overeating and feeling really uncomfortable afterwards, or eating where you are not hungry, or eating too quickly, or being unable to share food sometimes. And this is something what I had for a long time as well. I was literally eating very fast, and I wasn't sharing food because I was always eating when I was on my own, because I was too ashamed to eat in front of other people, even if I was behaving absolutely okay. When it comes to never leaving food on our plates, it might be the case that we have to finish off absolutely everything. And it's driven by the narratives. We don't know why, but we just don't want to waste food. And also when we use food as the reward. Velma is asking question on the chat. What about those who don't eat and find it difficult to eat? Yes, absolutely. I also work with clients who can't eat. One of the recent examples, one of the clients she finished the program 2 weeks ago, and when we started working, she said that she just can't eat. She's not feeling hungry. She's putting the weight on all the time, but the reality is that every time when she even thinks about eating, she just feels really uncomfortable physically. So she couldn't eat, or sometimes she was just eating a little bit of processed food because that was the only thing she could eat. And the most amazing thing is that we got to the bottom of that. And after 3 months, when she was finishing and when she was sharing, of course, she was sharing her journey in the meantime. But she said that this is so amazing because I feel hungry again. I can use food to eat. I can use food to feed myself. And she was almost like this, like a child who's discovering new things in life. And in the meantime, during those 2 months, she also lost 2 dress sizes, and she literally after 8 weeks she said, Anna, I don't want to lose any more weight because I'm really comfortable where I am now, and now I just want to focus on nourishing my body. So she went to a lot of doctors, by the way, as well, and the doctor said no, everything is right. So she knew that there was something in the subconscious mind, something regarding the emotions, and we definitely worked on that. So yes, it works in both ways. The question which I like to ask, and this is part of our webinar today, is: are you punishing yourself food, or are you nourishing yourself with food? Because sometimes lack of food might be a punishment as well. It's not only when we overeat, it's also when we undereat. And then what we do, we get to the bottom of, okay, why are you punishing yourself with not eating? And it is very, very, very powerful. But okay, we are here to talk about 3 steps to stop emotional eating. And I could talk really, really a lot about this because I'm absolutely loving it. And it has become my massive passion, as you know, and because I know how you feel when you are in the situation when you really think that this is your middle name. You really think that this is your identity. This is what's never gonna change because you have tried so many times. But now I know that there is a completely different life on the other side. And it really doesn't take that much time, because the moment you start understanding everything, you will see that you can start doing things which you never imagined, because impossible doesn't really exist with that work. So the first step is realizing that it's actually not about food, and we can just stop all the dieting. Because what has been happening with the diet industry, which is one of the biggest industry in the world, it's over 80 billion industry. The main reason why diet industry exists is that people who are on diets need to fail them and then start them over, because that's the only way for that industry to grow. So I found a search which was saying that normally it takes up to 19 days for a person to last on a diet. And after 19 days, there will be a lot of shame and guilt. There will be a lot of overeating. And then we are beating ourselves up. And then after some time, when we put the weight on, we would normally start another diet. But the reality is that 99% of diets, they really fail to achieve permanent weight loss results. It can last for a few months, few years, but then we go back. Because what's really important is the fact that you can change the behavior. When you change the behavior, you change the results. But what is really driving all of this are thoughts and feelings just above this. And I will be telling you a little bit more about this. So the reality is that diet don't work. And what is the most important thing in this is the fact that normally diets mean limitations and restrictions and depriving ourselves of a lot of things. And what we realize,
it's control, because you control yourself. Yes, when you are on the diet and you've got free dish per day, you control yourself. Yeah, and no one think about this. What happened in your mind? Yeah,
absolutely.
When you lost this control, you lost everything. Yeah.
And thank you for saying that, Dominika. It is absolutely about the control, but the reality is also that when we started low calories diet or really limited diets, our brain is constantly in that stage of just needing more. It's the scarcity. It's the opposite of abundance, and it's literally the body is thinking, okay, our survival is here literally not guaranteed. So what we need to do, we need to make sure that whatever food we are getting here is not being absorbed, because we are going into the survival mode. There might be starvation, so the food is being also stored. And that's the reason why sometimes when we start doing those low calories diets, they work in the beginning, but then we just reach the moment, and then it's not about willpower. There is no such a thing as willpower. If we don't provide our bodies the energy which it needs, it will never be good. It will never happen, because we are not superheroes. We are just humans. And we really need to remember about this. And also what happens when we go on low calories diets, our body needs to adjust. So the metabolic rate goes down. So then we have to start eating even less to start achieving the results. And at some point the body is like, no, okay, I can't do it anymore. So you can see that it is a vicious circle. And as Dominika said, it is a vicious circle, because at some point it's about the control, and the only thing your body is focusing on, your mind is focusing on, is whatever you are restricting yourself with, it just craves it. So that's the reason when you say, okay, from today, I'm not going to eat chocolate, then normally your mind will be thinking about chocolate. And a very good tip in that, and I mentioned that in a few previous webinars, it's the mind doesn't understand the concepts of no. So if we want to stop eating chocolate, it's much easier to say, I'm going to focus on eating healthy meals, instead of I'm not going to eat chocolate. Because what happens? Our mind thinks in images. The moment you say, I don't want to eat chocolate, what is appearing on the screen of your mind? Chocolate. And then you have to spend time to literally using the willpower to stop yourself from eating it. And then imagine, after the whole day of presenting that image of chocolate on a screen of your mind, you don't have energy. You don't have enough energy to just stop yourself from that. And that's one of the reasons. So definitely, diets definitely don't work, even if we are being said something different. So normally what happens is when we stop dieting and we start nourishing ourselves, and we actually start eating what our body wants and needs, we start eating more. That's why for some of you, when you start this journey, it might be the case that you might be putting a little bit weight on, because body is like really confused, and it's like, what is happening? I'm getting a lot of food. The starvation period is probably coming very soon, so I need to make sure that I've got enough. The body is not trusting ourselves anymore, but what we are doing, we are building that trust back. And that's definitely something what is working. I just want to read some comments in the meantime. Oh, God, yes, thank you for saying. Is it anything to do with exercise? With the exercise, I believe that was questioned when we were talking about the dieting. It depends, because it depends what the intention behind exercising is. If we do exercise because we want our body to feel better, we know that the movement is helping our body, it's helping to change our nervous system state as well, then it's okay. But a lot of us, including myself, I realized that I was always punishing myself with exercise. I would only do exercise to burn off the calories or to be able to eat more later on. That was my motivation. So yeah, definitely. But on the program, what we do, we have a lot of different tools. We have a lot of pillars of the program, and exercise is definitely something what is important. I'm not saying overdoing exercise, because it can do the opposite. Our body will be really stressed. What we are working on is taking the stress down. And it's okay. Those were the comments. So that's the first one. I will share the second step to overcome emotional eating is realizing that we need to start feeding our mind with what our mind needs, not with food. Because basically what is happening, our brains need dopamine, serotonin, all the happy hormones, all the oxytocins. And what we do when we eat, and it's also applicable to binge drinking, shopping, gambling, you can just name the addiction which we are talking about here. All of those are just short dopamine kicks. So what we do when we don't feel very well, or when we feel unsafe or insecure, anxious, or maybe we don't feel appreciated, we really our mind wants to move those thoughts, which are very, very painful, especially if we keep saying to ourselves those negative things that, I'm not lovable, I don't deserve this. Life is really hard to me, and everything is happening because of me. When we keep saying those things, we really put ourselves in a state of pain. And our mind is an incredible tool which runs by few rules. One of the rules is it really wants to take us from pain towards pleasure. And what the pleasure is, you will be getting the thoughts to just take you away from that pain. So instead of listening to everything what is happening in your head, it's okay, I will go and eat something. You won't even register that, but you will find yourself in the fridge, or you will find yourself in the cupboard just eating something, because mind really wants you to stop feeling that suffering, stop feeling that pain. And also what's really, really important is that mind has only one rule. Mind is not here for us to keep us happy. It's here to keep us alive. And the reality is, going back to the first point, when we don't eat enough, our mind will be telling us to eat or to binge, because it really wants to keep us alive. And it doesn't care about what we look like, if we are this size or the other size, if we are happy or unhappy. No, this is very primal. This is very straightforward. And also one of the other rules is the fact that mind really operates or responds to words and images. I told you about the images, the chocolate. But just to prove this, if I tell you, think about your fridge. Now, can you tell me what your fridge looks like? Straight away, you've got fridge in front of your mind. Or if I ask you, what is your favorite T-shirt? And you can see that favorite T-shirt. So you can see that it's not about what's how you are describing this, but this is the image. So if you keep seeing that image that you are really unhappy, and so food is the only thing which can bring happiness, then mind is thinking about this all the time. And the same with words. Mind operates with words, and our subconscious mind is a little bit like a baby, like a child. It doesn't have ability to reject. So everything what you say to yourself, your subconscious mind will take it really, really literally. So if you keep saying to yourself, "Oh, I'm ugly. I just don't like this body. I just really I feel anxious all the time. I don't deserve it," then this is what keeps happening, and this is the spiral. And imagine that you keep doing this for the next 10, 20, 30 years. It's literally, you just can't see another reality, and that's the reason why it becomes the identity. and what to do, how to break from those thoughts. It is really important to know that mind, we've got two parts of our mind, conscious mind and subconscious mind. Conscious mind is the thinking one, and it's only 5% of what we do on a daily basis. Subconscious one is the one where all the beliefs are, and those are the ones which are driving our behavior. And this is also the one where the feelings are. So if you feel alone, or if you feel bored, the moment it happens, your brain, subconscious mind, triggers your body to go to food, or triggers your body to do whatever your go-to thing is. And the power of this, and what we are doing here, is basically bringing those beliefs from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, because this is the only way to start changing them, because you can't change what you don't understand. And also what Einstein said years ago is the insanity is doing something, the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And the only way to get different results is to start being aware of more things. And this is basically what we do here. Just to give you an example, we keep updating our softwares all the time on our phones, on our laptops, but we never do this with our minds. And what is our mind's software? It's all about the beliefs we have. And I will give you one or two examples. Let's say that when we were children, we were bullied when we were young. And we really, of course, and I think 95% of adults were bullied as children, because children are amazing, but they're mean. They're really mean. And what happens is basically, when you are small and you really can't do anything to those bullies, you really want to stand up to them, but you can't. And what your body is receiving the information from you is basically, okay, subconscious mind, help me somehow. I want to be bigger. I want to fight with them. I want to be stronger than them, because that's the only way I can avoid it. So the subconscious mind sends the message to the body, and body just starts growing. Exactly the same thing happens if we grow up in the environment when one of the parents might be an addict, might be alcoholic or drugs or any kind of, or might be just abusive mentally or physically. When we are children and we can see that the other parent is suffering, we just want to get bigger because we want to protect that other parent. And this is the narrative, this is the belief which our subconscious mind has so strongly in there that our body just grows. Another one, if we believe that there are so many things on our shoulders and we have so many problems to deal with, our mind will be helping us by making our body bigger so we can have wide shoulders, so we can hold as many things as possible on them. Or the last one with the abuse. If there was any kind of abuse, not only in our childhood, it might be a little bit later, it might be an abusive relationship. Our brain learns that being in a relationship is not safe. So it wants to protect us. So when we are bigger, we won't get hurt, because it's literally when you've got like a sponge everywhere. So no one will hurt you. And then also what the mind can be saying, if I am ugly, if I am fat, no one will want me. So then I will be on my own. So that will be safe. And it also might be the pattern that when we are single, we are slimmer. But when we go to a relationship, all of a sudden we gain weight. Because there is a subconscious pattern running that being in a relationship is unsafe. And that's the reason. You can eat perfectly, you can exercise perfectly, but you will be growing because this is what your body believes in. So so those are the beliefs which we have in our subconscious mind. And what we do in this work and what we do on the program is basically upgrading that program. So the moment we start being aware of that, we definitely can change something. Okay, I'm just going to read some comments. Betty, thank you very much. Betty is saying that, oh gosh, this is making so much sense. Absolutely, thank you. And the power of reprogramming our subconscious mind. Absolutely. Wow, this is mind-blowing and makes sense to me. And what I've been through recently, feeling unsafe in a relationship. Exactly. We never know what is happening, but that's also one of the reasons why I am such a massive believer in group coaching, because we can only see our perspective. But the moment we hear perspective from another 20, 30 people, we realize, oh, wow, I never thought about that. And from our mind's perspective, it doesn't matter if we say something or if we hear something. Our mind treats everything as a reality. So this is really, really powerful. But I could talk about all of this really, really for hours, as I said. So now I would love for all of you to just hear from one of my amazing clients who has recently finished the program. And yes, Kat, if I can ask you to share your journey with the program, why you joined the program, what changed in the meantime, and yes, maximum 2 of your takeaways.
Hi, thank you so
Hello,
much
welcome.
for having me here. And I'm excited. I want to do it again. It's yeah. Oh, honestly, and I love hearing. No matter how many times you hear this stuff, something new goes in, something new lands, and even when you know something consciously, I think that's the power of being on a program, is you hold yourself accountable to being in that room every week, and you're in a different space in your emotions, in your life, and having that access to this program and the group every week, it's something new lands. And I think, for me, I mean, my journey has been, I had so much resistance to the program because before I joined, I've always had a history with disordered eating. And you know, I used to really struggle with being obsessed with being healthy, with exercise, to a point that it got in the way of my life. And I never felt safe with food. You'd kind of look at me on the outside and think, oh, she's thriving, she's, you know, she's thin and she's this, but actually on the inside, I hid it really well, and I could hide it because I didn't appear like I had issues with food. And I think that's something really important to remember, is it doesn't matter how it looks on the outside. If some part of you feels unsafe with your body and food, it's time to have a look at that, because you have no idea how much energy it takes from you in all areas of life and all situations, from choosing your breakfast to going out, like you say, the office, or a client offering you a cake or a whatever, or even just eating dinner can be exhausting, because the amount of decision making, the amount of, you know, then the next day you want to punish yourself, or all of this stuff. And I think I'd done so much work on it, and I think I was at a point where I was comfortable with what I knew, but I didn't want to go any deeper. And then, you know, obviously I've done lots of work on myself, and I knew that when you don't want to go any deeper, that's when you must. And I think that's when I decided, okay, this is when I look at the next layer. And that's where Anna's program came in, to really give me that, you know, give the support, the framework, the content, this community, that we're all in this together. And I think it really allowed me to have the courage to peel off the next layer, and know that there was a safe place for me, because up until that point I've been working by myself because I was the only one who could fix it, and blah 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 blah. And so much has changed for me, to the point where I'm looking at food so differently and having so much more forgiveness for myself. I'm able to look at things without getting emotionally dragged into it. So one of my breakthroughs was being able to track my food, not from a place of restriction, and going into old places that I used to feel like a part of me took over, or I couldn't use MyFitnessPal. I just get obsessed with the numbers. I'd get obsessed. I'd weigh myself so much. And actually to use it from a place of observation, curiosity, and nourishment has been amazing and so freeing. And yeah, I think another massive one has just been not going into that spiral. when you know, things happen, and the reason why we're all here is because we have that emotional relationship with food, as women as well, you know, and men, but mostly women. We food, body, and mess is all like this, and so it will happen. And when it does, you don't need to go into that spiral. You can go, oh wow, I understand this in a different way. Maybe I need to give myself more compassion, maybe I need more presence, maybe I need more time, maybe I need more love, maybe I need more something, and you just look at things differently. So yeah, it's been awesome, and I feel
fantastic,
so much freer. So thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you so much, and it was such a pleasure to work with you, because that's exactly what you said. It sometimes it doesn't matter how much of self-growth we do. When we start focusing on that, we can really see that our relationship with food is just a mirror reflection of our relationship with ourselves, and we can always get a little bit deeper. So yes, thank you so much for your share. And yes, and that's exactly Kat mentioned that you don't have to do it by yourself. And this is my third step, because the reality is that in order to change something, we have to change something. And like Albert Einstein said, that we keep doing the same things, and we keep wishing for different results. And this is insane. But when we come to the environment, when you can get the support, when you can get accountability, you can see that you are not the only person who's doing this. And it's really, really important, because what normally happens within the first 2-3 weeks of the program, everyone says that the shame and guilt go down. And it's incredible, because it's like, how is it possible? I felt that shame and guilt for the last 10, 20, 30, 40 or 50 years, because I work with clients in from 20 years to 70 years and years old. And it's so amazing, because the moment, as Kat said, that those decisions about food, about our body, about what we're going to wear, about when we are going to the gym to burn off the calories, all of this takes so much space in our head that the researchers are showing that someone who's got unhealthy relationship with eating or with the body, it can take up to 85% of our internal space when it comes to thinking about food or thinking about body. In the case of someone who's got a healthy relationship, it's normally not no more than 20%. But if there is any binge eating, emotionally eating, anything, it's just taking that space. That's why I said that it affects so many different areas of our life, because we can't actually really control that, and that shame is just going into the spiral. So the reality is that group work really, really help, because all of a sudden you realize, okay, I can be safe here, and I can be honest, and I don't have to lie about what I have been doing. This is something what I'm getting from my clients as well. This is the first time when I don't have to lie about what I have done or what I haven't done regarding food or regarding the body. And trust me, I've done so many crazy things in my life when it comes to, abusing my body with food, that there is nothing what someone can tell me and I would be like, really? You shouldn't have done that. No, because the thing is that there is no judgment. There is no judgment because I've been there. And where there is no judgment, there is so much space for understanding. And when we start working, you basically gain that internal space when you can focus on everything else. So I will just tell you about the program, what it actually is, and then I will take your questions. We will have a few moments for questions. So the program, Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind, is a 3 months group coaching program. We see each other once per week. The next program starts on Monday, the 27th of November, which will be in 4 weeks. The sessions, the live coaching sessions, will be happening on Zoom from 6 to 7 o'clock each Monday. They will also be recorded, so you can watch them on replay as many times as you want throughout the program. And I know that a lot of clients, they're actually watching this or just listening to it later on as well, because as Kat said, it doesn't matter how many times you hear things, they're just landing on another level. And I could see amazing comments from Adam. Thank you. You just put a comment here as well, that we are just not aware of some of those things. And during the coaching sessions, you just get it. There is a lot of content provided as well during the program. You've got access to the Facebook group. When this is a private Facebook group, really safe environment, you get the recordings in that group. And also you've got access to the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group is something what we do sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes we talk every other day, and it's literally for you. If you feel that something is happening, you can just post a message, and then someone will always come back, or I am also on that group, so I can just help you as and when it's needed. So it's really, really amazing. The cost of the program is £300 per month. And what I am doing now, because we are finishing November and we are finishing October, so Christmas will be pretty soon, I am doing the most incredible offer which I have done so far with the programs. And the offer is that if you pay upfront £900, you will get additional 3 months of coaching sessions once the program finishes. So you pay for 3 months, but you get 6 months in total. And what is really amazing about this offer, which I'm doing now, is the fact that it gives you a lot of safe space and time. You don't have to worry that 3 months might not be enough. You have 6 months, and you know that this process will be changing. So it's literally like for 3 months you do training, and then you just start applying. So this is the offer for anyone who wants to pay upfront. And then if you want to pay monthly, then you can pay £300 for 3 months. And this is what will be happening. Then there will be some maintenance program after that, and I will be having some offers, but it's coming free if you pay upfront. This is the Christmas offer. And what is really special, before I start taking your questions, what is really special about the next program which is coming is the fact that it starts in the end of November, and we will be finishing in the beginning of March. So we will be together throughout that really crazy, funny time of Christmas and New Year's resolution, and everything what happens when it comes to eating, not eating, or eating too much. So this is really amazing, because we will be having sessions between Christmas and New Year, and then you will also have that support that if you know that something is not happening the way you want it to happen, we will be doing the support. So I will be definitely contacting all of you to talk about the program, because it's been really, really amazing to have you here. So I would love to hear some questions from you. If you have some, please just raise your hand, or you can wave at me. And I know that I answered some of the questions in the chat, but in the meantime, before I take your questions as well, if you can tell me on the chat what the biggest takeaway from today's session has been, it would be absolutely amazing. Simply because I just want to make sure that you get the most from it, and we always get the most when we share our thoughts. So please just type in a chat what the most important takeaway or the most shocking thing for you was from today's webinar. And yes, please ask the questions if you have some. If not, then we will shortly finish. I know that we had. Oh no, Dominika has gone, because I wanted to ask her. I was talking to her in the beginning, but we couldn't do it. Times of eating, would it affect body? Or we will be, Betty, this is the question from you. Yes, times of eating, would it affect the body? When it comes to the program, I don't have any particular requirements when it comes to eating style. Simply because I work with pretty much everyone. Who you might be doing low carb, you might be doing high carb, you might be doing keto, you might be vegan, vegetarian, you might do the intermittent fasting as well. And what we will be doing during the program, we will be just finding which way is working for you better when it comes to eating. And everyone has different bodies. So sometimes if you eat really late, it won't give you a good sleep. I am a big believer in the fact that if you don't eat 2-3 hours before sleep, then you have much better a quality of sleep, because your body just have time to basically just do everything what it needs to do, and just make sure that when you go to bed, you just rest. You don't digest anymore, because that's one of the reasons why we wake up in the morning so tired, because we eat really late. Our body, instead of focusing on digesting, is just literally saying, okay, now I need to make sure that I still processed everything what I has been eating. So yeah, so definitely time of food. Would you have any more details when it comes to is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it in the evening? What would you say? And I'm just I'm just waiting for the. In the meantime, are there any? Yes, if you have any more questions, please let me know. Okay, amazing. And yes, I can see the comments from Sureka. The connection between. Oh, okay. The connection between unsafe, abusive relationship. Yes, as a lot of my clients have been through this as well. Never would have thought of this. Yeah, and this is really, really big one. And also, what will be a new Sureka will see. What we'll be talking. There is so many different programs, and sometimes we might hear that program for the first time, it won't click, and when we hear it for the second time, all of a sudden we understand that okay, this is what has been happening with me. And the moment we understand it, it's enough. It's enough for us to just start changing it, because that's really, really important. Okay, yes, there was I believe that there was another question. Elaine, was it you who was asking the question? Oh, Betty, you said evenings I tend to eat. Yes, it also depends. We will be talking a lot about if you are eating enough nutrition, because sometimes what might happen, if you don't eat enough, then in the evening you will be eating more. But we will also be finding the reasons. Why is it happening in the evening? Is it because you might be tired, or is it because you might be bored? Is it because you might feel lonely? We will be having a lot of different tools just to uncover this. So I hope it helps. Okay, I could hear someone was asking a question, but I didn't catch who it was. So do you have any? Can we eat too much protein or carbs? I mean, we will be talking about this as well. It depends. The protein are extremely important, and this is what we focus on the program as well, because the reality is that quite often we can have a lot of different problems with our health, or we might have problems with our hair, and the reason is that if we are not eating enough protein, we are not giving enough material for our body to build healthy, not only muscles but healthy cells as well. And when it comes to carbs, it depends. We will be talking about this as well. Elaine, you've got a question, and thank you, Velma. You just need to unmute yourself, and let me put you on a spotlight. If you can just unmute yourself, that would be amazing. Yes, today is a funny day, because we were trying to unmute in previously, and we couldn't. And now we've got it. Please. Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, fantastic. Great to have you here. What's your question?
My question is, I have problems eating.
Mm-hmm.
I do have problems because I've suffered with rheumatoid arthritis, and I've had it for a long time. I've been 20 odd years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having problems. I've been having problems eating, but sometimes my eating it goes up and down, up and down. Sometimes I'm fine eating on certain days, and other days I just can't eat food properly at all. I mean, I want to eat, but my body's not taking the food in, which is very upsetting, and it's so frustrating as well. So I have lost a lot of weight as well with it, and it's not nice, at all. So I'm just wondering, what can I do about this? What can I do?
Yes.
I just want to know I just need some advice on that, really. What can I do about this?
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
I have lost a lot of weight as well. I've lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thank you for.
I'm very worried about this as well, because I have lost a lot of weight as well.
Yes.
Which isn't nice. It's not nice at all.
No, fair enough, and thank you very much for sharing that. And yes, to answer your question, when it comes to eating particular foods, it's like that story of my client, which I was sharing in the beginning. She just couldn't eat, and what happened basically? Sometimes we've got how our body works. The emotions are always stored in our body, because this is what it is. So the thoughts are the language of the mind, and the emotions are the language of the body. And emotions are stored in different parts of our bodies. And when it comes to our stomach, normally anger and anxiety, they are stored around this area. So if there is a lot of underlying anger or a lot of anxiety, it might be causing you the feeling that you feel very, very full, or you sometimes might feel that your stomach is like a rock and you just can't eat anything. Or when you have particular foods, it might be the case that they are just triggering some of the patterns from your past. And because you have the memories which are really, really unpleasant, your body is just trying to survive. Your body is always trying to keep you safe. And that's the reason why it's happening. So what we would normally do on a program, especially in the last month, we really go into working on our emotions, unpacking the emotions, the connection between what we eat, how we eat, and why we eat, and how it's linked to how we feel. And also for you, just to give you an advice on this one, I would definitely go with the question, are you punishing yourself with food, or are you nourishing yourself with food? Because there might be something from the past coming.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm punishing myself. I mean, I want to eat, but my body's not taking it. It's not taking it at all. I mean, that much pain as well with the arthritis. The pain's that bad. I think the pain stopped me from eating as well. The pain's really bad in my joints, because ever since I had the COVID-19 injection, it's gotten worse. So I just wish now I didn't have the COVID-19 injection, but I had that done, and it's been really bad.
Okay, because it might be also regarding the inflammation. If the inflammation is big in joints, especially, then it also might go down to the specific foods which you need to eat, or the foods which your body doesn't want to take, simply because it might increase the inflammation. So it might be something like that as well. We do on the program. We do completely different approach to nutrition, because I just give the details, not the details which we normally can read everywhere, but just more into how you can use nutrition to actually help your body, to feed your body, because again, body really wants to do the best for us. So that might be the thing. We will have I will be talking to each one of you who's on the call, so we might have a separate conversation on that as well. But I would love to leave you with that question. When you eat something, just ask yourself how you really feel when you eat it. Like there might be some anger, there might be some sadness coming up, there might be anything, any kind of emotion, and that might give you a lot of insight into that.
Yeah, because I have to be careful what I eat now, because my joints it can inflame the joints if I do eat the wrong foods. Yes. I have to be careful what I eat now as well.
Yeah, absolutely, because it can increase the inflammation, and we know that when it comes to to this. Yes, definitely. I will be. I would leave you with that question, and also all the patterns which were in the past. There are lots of different beliefs which we might have, and normally when our body is rejecting something, it's also good to ask, okay, why are we rejecting particular food? Just ask the question and then leave it, and see what the mind will come with. Okay, but thank you so much. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, amazing. Are there any more questions? I couldn't see any more questions. I could see some amazing shares. Adam, you've got a question. Does the lack of certain minerals, vitamins, and nutrition, etc., be a drive to eat? Yes. Thank you very much for asking this question. What happens basically if we don't provide particular nutrition to our body? It will be we might feel the need to eat until we get that. A good example is salt. If we don't have enough sodium in our body, and sodium is really important for our brain to connect all the brain cells to transmit the information. If we don't have enough salt in our body, enough sodium, we will crave it. But if we don't take it from the nutritionist food, we might crave crisps. or we might crave any salty processed food, because body wants that nutrition, but it doesn't know how to communicate. So yeah, definitely, Adam, this is really important. If we do not understand we're lacking a certain thing for our body, can it drive us to keep eating? Yes, absolutely. So I just answered this question, because body brain is a certain type of nutrition. Yes. So yeah, it's absolutely, that's why it's always good to do some checks as well, and some tests, just to make sure that the levels of minerals are okay. Because our body, normally what happens, our body communicates with us. But if for years and years and years we were telling ourselves that whatever body is telling us is not right, and we have to listen to the external diet industry and everything else, then we just need to learn how to communicate with our bodies again. So this is definitely what I'm going to leave you with. Thank you so much for attending, and thank you to everyone who's watching on the recording. I will be in touch with each one of you, and I really hope that I will see you from the 27th of November on the next Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind program. Thanks so much. Take care now.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.